And welcome back. And yes, we've got an absolute ripper on this afternoon out at the Western Oval, not the Western Oval, what do we call it? The Winter Resort.
Winter Resort.
Winter Resort, Jets Oval. And of course, we had the president of the Belmont Lions on in the last segment. That's it, Belmont Lions Sports Club. They're hosting the Tommy Tigers, and it'll be an absolute ripper game because, firstly, Tommy Tigers need to cement their spot where they are at the moment, and also the Belmont Lions, well, it's practically his elimination final for them. It's probably already all over. But as the president of the Belmont Lions said in the last segment, they will have much pleasure in maybe taking an aim at some of the sides in the five and shaping their destiny. So, Mitch, I'll go to you first. It is the 94.7 match of the day. Straight after hashtag Giddy Up.
Straight after
back on air this week?
We're back on air this week. Yeah,
Thank
we
God
had a bit of a break last week. You notice we broke that story about the Greater Western Eagles or whatever they are, the Addies claim?
I'm giving you a show of plugging in now,
7 weeks ago we broke that.
I know, you did too.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
but
mate,
anyway, neither here
the
nor
rumour
there.
file goes
The
well.
rumour file, yeah. But,
okay, mate. Well, anyway, look, this game tomorrow afternoon is going to be a beauty. I think because Belmont Lions always play well out there.
They certainly do. It's a difficult ground to play on. I don't know whether it's the last roll of the dice for the Belmont Lions. I think they've already had that. And as far as Thompson cementing their spot in the five, Belmont Lions are 24, Thompson are 40. So I think that's already done. So there's. I just think today Belmont Lions will be out to really start to set their season up for next year. You know, they've been cruel by injuries. They've got a good coach in Grant Tanner, who was probably not happy with the way that they presented at pre-season. So he's got them all going on the one page, as Gavin said there before. He's got them all on the one page, and I think it'll be a very, very difficult game for Thompson to win. But in saying that, you know, finals are looming. You've really got to mount this next part of the year towards the finals, and I think Thompson will win, and will win fairly convincingly. I think the game will be tight for maybe 2 to 3 quarters, but they should get on top. Brent McLeod's form's been fantastic, and you know, the Thompson side is going along okay at the minute.
Alex.
Belmont point of view, I'll look at their home ground, and I've heard there's been a bit of rain the last couple of days, so I don't know if we're definitely playing at the ground.
What do you mean you've heard there's been a bit of rain? Where have you been the last few days?
The river's come up 3 feet.
That's it. It's either that or it's a drought. But anyways, basically, you know, there's a good ground at Deakin, so it wouldn't surprise me if they move somewhere else.
Don't be so ridiculous,
Oh,
Alex. What are you talking about? What's he on about, Dick?
Mate, we played in 6 inches of mud at the Belmont Lions footy ground.
Telling you what I've heard. But as to what the sensible stuff, Belmont, they've done fantastically against the top sides in the second halves, but they bounce away in that first quarter. Consider the first 8 goals against Bannockburn, first 4 against Inverleigh, and I think when they played Bellpost at home at the start of the year was about the same. So they've got to just wake up from that opening bounce. Macaulay Harrison's always one to watch playing his 50th game, but at the same time, Thompson has a good player who I think we all know has won the Whitley medal. So,
well, he's won the Whitley medal, has he?
Well, that's what the commentators said. I asked, you know, is Groz a dark horse last game? And they go, well, yeah, he's dark horse for second. Brent's already won it at Thompson. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Don't go the early crow, mate.
Maybe I've just put the moz on him like I did Bellpost 2 weeks ago.
Let's hope you haven't.
So who are you selecting?
I'll tip Thompson, but it's got to be closer. You know, Thompson, I think, had 10 of the first 12 shots last time they met, and they kicked something like 2 goals, 10 or something.
We've straightened it up since then, Alex.
Fingers crossed, yeah.
Well, anyone's game, of course, but yeah, Belmont Lions would love to knock off one of the sides in the finals. That's something they would love to do, and of course the Tommy Tigers just fine-tuning their season. They move towards a finals campaign at St Albans. Another big game on. It's out at Footrot Flats, and they take on the Geelong West Cheetahs. And I'll start with you, Alex. Geelong West Cheetahs still haven't opened their account yet. Can they do it out at Footrot Flats?
Oh, you know what? Anarchy couldn't hold off Corio, and Anarchy hasn't won a game since they last played Geelong West, and even that was only by a kick or 2. So this will be a tight game. Given that Geelong West, I keep saying every week, they've lost their main recruit in Tyson Doherty, I'll just tip Anarchy over the line, but it will be a lot closer than a lot think.
It's sad to see a club not winning a game.
It is.
Can they do it?
Oh, look, I don't think so, Dick.
No.
I picked them against Corio a couple of weeks ago, and really thought that, you know, at times they play reasonably good football, you know, but they just can't put it together for long enough. And, you know, whilst I'd like to see them win on Saturday, the reality to it is Anarchy's home ground. They should notch another win, and West, you know, it'll be a long trip home, I think, Dick. But look, you can turn it around quickly in this competition, so let's hope that happens.
I think just one positive for the bottom sides is we've now reached the part of the draw where they all play each other for a second time. So at least, you know, there's no longer those blowouts for a Winchelsea or a, you know, who we'll mention next game, or even a Geelong West or Anarchy.
Yeah, well, speaking of blowouts, of course, the Winchelsea Blues a couple of weeks ago, it was a horror day for their beautiful club, and they're hosting a game out there tomorrow afternoon. They play the Cry Devils, and Mitch, I know look, it would have been horrific to be part of the Winchelsea committee and players to watch your side be humiliated like that.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, Dick. But look, one thing I'll give Winchelsea, they won 2 games. That's 2 more than they won last year. They've got a very, very positive group of people out there, and you know, they'll take it up to Cryo for a long period of time. I think one of the things that's going to be interesting for me is Jason Tom. I hear not Jason Tom, sorry, Jason Hewen, who's a really good player for Cryo. You know, got his leg cut something like 16 stitches. If he doesn't play, I give Winchelsea a chance. I think Cryo may just get across the line, but I think this will be the closest game of the round.
Yeah, Alex, do you think that Winchelsea can bounce back after that terrible defeat? No one wants to see their club get beaten like that. No. And as I said, I'd be devastated to see my club beaten by that.
Look, tomorrow's a big day for the club. You've got Dan Gretzky, the president. It's his 200th club game, so I hope they do well. If you buy the record, which actually sold out last week, we've got a massive archive story on Winchelsea, Roger Matheson and all the like. Yep. But fact of the matter is, Cryo haven't won 3 games in a row in about 7 years, and I believe this time tomorrow night we'll be celebrating the end of that drought. But Winchelsea, they play Geelong West the following week, Dick. So,
very good, mate.
So that'll be good.
Is there any kilometre stones coming up this week? Because you can't say milestones.
All right.
You should know. What are we going to look out for this weekend?
Well, Dan Gretzky. We got Carly Harrison's 50th game for Belmont.
Come on. You're not going to call that a milestone or a kilometre stone. Surely to goodness. Where are we going with this?
Well, this horsepower milestone, I don't know. I wasn't born in this mile-pound period, but
it's like having Mick Robinson in that thing, isn't it?
I wasn't here last week, and I didn't get the chance to congratulate North Geelong Guns in Darren Matheson and Derek Fitzsimmons. So, boys, now that I'm on air, well done again, and it was a great crowd last week, wasn't it?
Oh, great crowd. And I'll tell you what, very quickly as we finish up, to watch those 2 guys run out of the ground, Darren Matheson was visibly emotional. And I just thought, gee, it made me a little bit, because that's what local footy's all about. You play with a passion, you love your club, and they really appreciate it. And Daryl Jones did the pre-match address, which was, by all accounts, absolutely unbelievable.
That was Fano, Jonesy.
Thanks again for your... I would never do that to you, Jonesy. Thanks again for your company. It's been a magnificent show, and we'll just finish up, of course, with another magnificent Mick Larkin snapshot. And look, thanks again, and we'll see you all again next Friday night when we've got another big full round of footy coming up. And you enjoy your weekend. Bye for now.
Good old Thompson, mighty Thompson, and our spirit is of old. For we always stick together for the purple and the gold. What a grand team, what a swell team. Yes, we are the Thompson Club. Kick the ball right through the middle, then we'll all head for the club. Good old Thompson, mighty Thompson, and our spirit